Welcome to this B1 Printer Delivery e-learning session. In this case, we're looking at report action, where we look more into the create activity action. So here we are in Business One on the report action screen, and in the B1 Printer Delivery wizard, which we have used for the other report actions until now, there is defaults for print and save and so on. But there is no out-of-the-box create activity because it's an option that's there, but not in the out-of-the-box scenario. So what we need to do is we need to set up one of these. And what we're going to do is we are going to make a new report action of create activity, and then we will link it to the sales order. So not only will it, for example, send an email, but at the same time also create an activity to the sales employee that made the sales order and have a follow-up in 2 days. So let's get into that. First, let's make the create activity report action. So sales order follow-up. We're gonna use that this is just a note for ourselves. We can choose different types. It could be that the follow-up would be a phone call, but we will just make a note to ourselves and then let the sales employee decide what to do. We're not really using the type and subject on an activity, and if you are unfamiliar what activities is, it's these thingies. So we're essentially just filling out the information on this screen. So the first thing we want to do is make a remark on what it is we do. So we need to follow up on sales order. And in order for us to have it easy, we also want to have the dynamic syntax of the sales order number, which we can get if you turn on system information up here and right click, we can simply get the item syntax here. So we put in this and put in some content to ourselves. Remember to follow up, and we could write some long text about how we should follow up, what we need to re-ask for, and so on. But doesn't really matter here. This is not the main purpose of this e-learning. So we have our remarks, we have some content. We could have used dynamic syntax again down here. And then we can say assign to. So we can either assign to user, employee, or recipient list, just like you can in here. And if we go in here, we can say user to a specific user or the one who triggered the report action. We will take that in this case, but you can choose it would be always the same person that followed up on all sales orders, for example. We can set some various fields. Again, everything comes from this screen. Closed is down here, inactive, and so on. None of these are important to us right now, so we don't do anything special there. We can then attach the document, so the PDF we make, and just call it order, for example. We can link the document, meaning the thing we do over here, and that would be nice. Okay, yeah, in the subject we have what order it is, but it would be nice to just be able to press and go directly to it. So we will link the document as well. And it just asked me if I to remember to put in the .pdf on this one. Then we said we wanted to have in 2 days from now, and we will trigger the start time at 12 o'clock. The duration is roughly 15 minutes. We just need to follow up, and the reminder will be 1 hour from the time. In order for us to see something happening, we can say open after generation. You probably wouldn't do that in real life, but just so we can see it going up. So now we have made the report action, and we just need to call it from the sales order as well. Right now we are just having the defaults, but we want to have, whenever we email, it also make this follow up. So we quickly make a new line here, choose the crystal report, and choose the new report we just made, which was this one, sales order follow up. If you haven't seen this screen before, there will be later e-learning on exactly what this is about, what we're doing. But essentially, we're just saying every time we press the email button, both email and do this create activity. So that is set up. This is what we are doing. So right now, we can simply just press the email button and we'll say it's emailing, and then it's saying creating activity. And here's the new activity we just made. It had the order as we talked about. It's in 2 days from when I run this, and it would remind us in 1 hour. The other details, we don't put anything here, but we put in content, remember to follow up, and we had the link documents where we have the link so we can quickly find the order if it was closed in the meantime. And attachment wise, the PDF is here should we need to get it from the system. So that is actually everything there is to create activity. A nice way to remember to do the automated stuff instead of needing to manually remember this follow up or whatever it is we want to do in the system. One thing though is the keynote server might think, well, what if you actually email again? Won't it create one more activity? And you would be correct in that if we do this, it will create another activity. And if we do it again, it will create one more. And if we did send the email again because the customer phoned us up, said they have lost the email, if you could resend, we would end up with more and more follow-ups that we shouldn't have. So we see multiple follow-ups to the same. This can be taken care of. It's not part of this session, but once we get into the report action, conditional action, we will actually tackle this problem. So if you're curious about that, see that specific e-learning. But for now, we will leave it as is and tackle that in the other session. So for now, thank you and see you in the next one.